Welcome to Living Legacy, with Andrew sharing heartfelt tributes to remarkable individuals whose influence continues to live on. This channel celebrates unforgettable names from film, music, sports, and culture, highlighting the passion, achievements, and inspiration they gave the world. Here, every story is a reminder that true greatness never fades, and every legacy continues to speak through time. Brian Doerksen, the Canadian singer and songwriter known for his heartfelt contemporary Christian music, died on July 21, 2026, at the age of 60 after a battle with cancer. His passing has left many listeners, fellow musicians, and church communities remembering the meaningful role he played in Christian worship. Doerksen was best known for songs such as Today, When You Shepherd Me, and Holy God, which connected with audiences through their sincere lyrics and reflective melodies. Beyond his work as a recording artist, he was also respected as a worship leader, serving churches across his home country of Canada. His music became part of many worship experiences and offered encouragement and comfort to people during important moments in their lives. Friends, fans, and members of the Christian music community are now celebrating his life, his faith, and the lasting influence of his songwriting. While his voice will be missed, his songs and the memories associated with them will continue to be cherished by many. Dave Mason, a founding member of Traffic, left a lasting mark on rock music with his soulful voice, memorable guitar work, and heartfelt songwriting. Born David Thomas Mason on May 10, 1946, in Worcester, England, he developed an early love for blues, jazz, and rock. In the late 1960s, he co-founded Traffic with Steve Winwood, Jim Capaldi, and Chris Wood. Mason helped shape the band's distinctive blend of rock, folk, and jazz, contributing classics such as Hole in My Shoe and Feelin' Alright, which later became a favorite among artists and listeners worldwide. After his time with Traffic, Mason built a successful solo career, earning major recognition for We Just Disagree. He also worked with music legends including Jimi Hendrix, Eric Clapton, Paul McCartney, and George Harrison. In his later years, Mason stepped away from touring. His music, however, continues to connect with generations of fans and remains an important part of rock history. Professional wrestling legend Dory Funk Jr. has died at the age of 85, leaving behind a remarkable legacy that helped shape professional wrestling for generations. Funk passed away on August 4, 2026 at his home in Ocala, Florida. He was best known for his historic run as NWA World Heavyweight Champion, holding the prestigious title for more than 4 years during the 1960s and 1970s. That reign remains one of the longest in the history of the championship. Funk was also a WWE Hall of Famer and part of one of wrestling's most respected families. He followed the path established by his father, Dory Funk Sr., and later shared the ring with his younger brother, Terry Funk. Together, the Funk family became synonymous with dedication, toughness, and excellence inside the wrestling world. Dory Funk Jr.'s career spanned decades, and his influence reached far beyond championship victories. His contribution to professional wrestling will continue to be remembered by fans and fellow performers around the world. Joanna Pettit, the actress remembered for her memorable work across film and television, has died at the age of 83. Pettit passed away on July 7, 2026, at a hospital in Temecula, California. Over the course of her career, she appeared in a wide range of popular productions, earning recognition for her talent and versatility. Many viewers will remember her from the 1967 James Bond parody Casino Royale, where she became part of an unforgettable ensemble cast. She also made appearances in several well-known television dramas and series during the 1970s and 1980s, including Fantasy Island, Knots Landing, and The Fall Guy. Beyond her acting career, Pettit's life also carried a remarkable connection to a major moment in Hollywood history. She had spent time with actress Sharon Tate shortly before the tragic events that later unfolded at Tate's home. That extraordinary coincidence remained one of the most notable chapters of Pettit's life. Today, she is being remembered for her work, her presence on screen, and a career that touched generations of viewers. Nick Pope was born in England in 1965 and began his career as a British civil servant with the Ministry of Defence. In 1991, he was assigned to a small office that examined reports of unidentified flying objects. Many cases were eventually explained as ordinary aircraft, natural events, or misunderstandings, but others remained difficult to identify. Pope's work gave him a unique perspective, allowing him to approach unusual reports with both curiosity and caution. After leaving government service, he became an author and public commentator, sharing his knowledge of UFO investigations and unexplained aerial reports with audiences around the world. Rather than encouraging people to accept every extraordinary claim, he often emphasized the importance of evidence, careful investigation, and keeping an open mind. His calm and thoughtful approach helped make him a familiar figure in discussions about unexplained phenomena. Pope's legacy continues through his books, interviews, and the questions he encouraged people to ask about events that remain unexplained. Plas Johnson, the gifted saxophonist whose unforgettable playing became part of movie history, has died at the age of 94. Johnson passed away on July 15, 2026, at his home in Los Angeles. Many people will remember him for the smooth, instantly recognizable saxophone line he played on Henry Mancini's famous theme from The Pink Panther. That performance helped give the piece its cool, playful character, and became one of the most memorable saxophone moments in popular music. But Johnson's career was about much more than one iconic recording. He also released music under his own name, and built a remarkable reputation as a highly respected session musician, working behind the scenes on countless recordings. His talent, versatility, and effortless style made him a favorite among fellow musicians and producers. Before his music career took off, Johnson also served in the U.S. Army during the Korean War. His passing marks the loss of a remarkable musician whose work continues to be heard and appreciated by generations of listeners. Vin Diesel was never supposed to become Hollywood's Man of Steel. Long before the engines, explosions, and billion-dollar franchises, he was Mark Sinclair, a child growing up without the certainty of knowing his biological father. Born in 1967, he was raised by his mother, Delora, an actress and astrologer, and later by his stepfather, Irving Vincent, a Harlem theater teacher who became the closest thing to a father he knew. His childhood unfolded in New York, amid cramped housing, financial hardship, and a family surrounded by artists who were often struggling themselves. Yet imagination became a form of survival. When he was 7, Mark and neighborhood boys broke into a Greenwich Village theater expecting punishment. Instead, director Crystal Field offered them $20 to perform. That unexpected encounter changed his direction. Acting gave him structure, where life had given him uncertainty. The boy who had grown up surrounded by unanswered questions discovered that a stage could become a place where he controlled the story. Years before the world knew Vin Diesel, the foundations were already being laid. Discipline, endurance, and the refusal to disappear. No easy road. As Mark grew older, New York became both his classroom and his battlefield. He attended Hunter College, studying literature, but financial reality eventually outweighed academic plans. By 18, survival demanded more than lectures could provide. He worked as a bouncer in Manhattan nightclubs, including places such as Tunnel, Mars, and Limelight, where long nights could end in bruises, exhaustion, and another walk home through the cold. Those years hardened him, without making him careless. He learned that strength was not always about winning a fight. Sometimes it meant simply remaining standing. At the same time, Hollywood offered little encouragement. Casting directors struggled to categorize his appearance and background, and rejection became a familiar part of his life. Instead of waiting for permission, he decided to create his own opportunity. With roughly $3,000 borrowed from friends, he bought a second-hand camera and made Multifacial, a short film about an actor struggling to find a place in an industry that could not easily define him. He wrote it, directed it, performed in it, and composed its music. The film eventually reached Cannes, where it attracted attention that changed his trajectory forever. Every difficult night taught him that endurance could become its own kind of education. The breakthrough, the door that opened after Multifacial, did not lead to instant superstardom, but it finally led somewhere. Steven Spielberg noticed Diesel's work and cast him in Saving Private Ryan in 1998. Standing alongside Tom Hanks, the unknown actor suddenly found himself inside one of Hollywood's most prestigious productions. The opportunity proved that the years of rejection had not been wasted. Soon, his career accelerated. Pitch Black in 2000 introduced audiences to Riddick, a character whose physical presence and controlled menace fit Diesel almost perfectly. Then The Fast and the Furious arrived in 2001, transforming him into a global action star. XXX followed in 2002, reinforcing an image built on speed, danger, confidence, and physical intensity. The transformation was extraordinary. The young man who had once counted coins and guarded nightclub doors was now headlining major studio films. But fame brought another kind of pressure. Days became packed with filming, interviews, travel, and expectations. The more recognizable his face became, the less private his life felt. Success had opened doors, but it had also built walls around him. Diesel had finally escaped invisibility, yet the question remained whether he could preserve the person underneath the celebrity. The transformation was not luck alone, it was preparation meeting the first genuine opportunity. A risky dream. Diesel's ambition was never limited to acting. He wanted to control stories, build worlds, and prove that his instincts could survive without a studio dictating every move. That ambition led him to The Chronicles of Riddick, released in 2004. The project was enormous, expensive, and deeply personal. Diesel served not simply as its star but as one of the central forces behind its creation. When the film failed to meet expectations, the consequences were painful. Years of belief suddenly looked like poor judgment to an industry that could turn confidence into ridicule overnight. The disappointment was not merely financial. It challenged the faith he had placed in himself. For someone who had built his career by refusing to accept other people's definitions, public failure cut especially deep. Yet the setback did not end him. Instead, he returned to the franchise that had given him his biggest platform. His relationship with the Fast and the Furious series became increasingly important, both professionally and personally. He helped reshape its direction, pushing it from a street racing story toward a massive action saga built around family, loyalty, and impossible missions. In doing so, Diesel transformed a setback into another lesson. When one dream collapses, you can still rebuild around what remains. The cost of success. The Fast and the Furious franchise became a global phenomenon, and Diesel became inseparable from its identity. Fast 5 in 2011 expanded the series into international blockbuster territory, while later installments continued to grow in scale. Yet behind the numbers was a man increasingly carrying more than a character. Diesel's public identity became tied to loyalty, especially the idea that family mattered more than fame. That belief became devastatingly real after the death of Paul Walker during the production of Furious 7. Walker had been Diesel's longtime co-star and close friend, and his sudden death changed the atmosphere around the entire production. Diesel withdrew from public view for a period as grief overtook the machinery of Hollywood. Eventually, he returned to complete the film. Furious 7 became a monumental success, crossing more than $1 billion worldwide, but its achievement could not erase the loss. For Diesel, finishing the movie became something more personal than completing another installment. It became a farewell. Audiences saw an emotional tribute to Walker, while Diesel carried the private reality of losing someone who had become part of his chosen family. The success that followed was therefore inseparable from sorrow, proving once again that triumph and grief can occupy the same moment. Love under lights. Behind the public image of the powerful action hero was a private life that repeatedly collided with fame. During the early years of The Fast and the Furious, Diesel developed a relationship with Michelle Rodriguez. Their connection grew in an environment built around speed, pressure, and intense filming schedules. What they shared was not simply a story created for the screen, yet relationships rarely remain untouched when two lives are surrounded by cameras and demanding careers. As Diesel's profile expanded, privacy became harder to protect. The relationship eventually ended without the kind of public spectacle that often follows celebrity breakups. Later, another significant chapter emerged when Diesel met Pavla, a woman whose world seemed far removed from Hollywood's constant noise. Their relationship offered him something he rarely experienced: ordinary peace. He could focus on simple routines, quiet mornings, and moments without an audience. He reportedly proposed, hoping the relationship could become permanent, but she ultimately chose not to live inside the world that came with his fame. Their separation left another lesson. Success could provide almost everything except a guarantee that someone would remain beside you. Diesel could command a film set, shape a franchise, and survive public failure. But love required something different: space, trust, and the freedom to live beyond the spotlight. A new family. After years of professional pressure and personal loss, Diesel eventually found another kind of stability. In 2007, he began a relationship with Paloma Jimenez, a Mexican model who entered his life when his career was already enormous. Their relationship developed away from the theatrical machinery that had defined so much of his existence. For Diesel, that difference mattered. He had spent years being watched, judged, photographed, and measured. With Paloma, the focus was reportedly less on the celebrity and more on the man behind the name. Together they built a family and created a private world that remained largely protected from the public. That family became one of the strongest themes in Diesel's life, and later appeared repeatedly in the way he spoke about his values. The concept of family was no longer merely a line in a movie script. It represented the stability he had lacked as a child, and the belonging he had spent decades constructing. After growing up without knowing his biological father, Diesel had learned that family could be chosen, built, and protected. His children gave that lesson a deeper meaning. The man who once feared disappearing now had people for whom his presence mattered more than his fame. Hollywood could change overnight, but family gave him something the industry could never manufacture: continuity. The weight of loss. The image of Vin Diesel often suggests invincibility, but his story repeatedly proves that physical strength cannot prevent emotional damage. The loss of Paul Walker became one of the most painful examples. Walker's death did not simply remove a colleague, it disrupted a bond Diesel had publicly described in terms of family. Every return to the Fast franchise afterward carried the memory of the person who was no longer there. Diesel continued working, appearing in increasingly ambitious productions, and helping carry the series forward, but grief does not disappear simply because cameras start rolling again. It changes shape. The same endurance that had carried him through poverty and rejection now became a way of living with absence. There were also professional wounds. The failure of Riddick's earlier expansion had shown him how quickly Hollywood could turn against an expensive gamble. Yet he repeatedly rebuilt. That pattern became central to his identity. He did not pretend that setbacks were painless. Instead, he treated them as part of the cost of staying in the race. His career was never a straight climb. It was a series of accelerations, crashes, recoveries, and reinventions. The strongest part of Diesel's story may therefore be not the moments when he appeared unstoppable, but the moments when he was hurting and continued anyway. The man behind Riddick. There is a reason Diesel's most memorable characters often feel like extensions of the person audiences imagine behind the camera. Riddick is physically imposing but emotionally guarded. Xander Cage is reckless yet loyal. Dominic Toretto values family above almost everything. Across these roles, Diesel repeatedly returns to the same ideas: survival, belonging, loyalty, and the refusal to abandon those considered family. Those themes did not emerge from nowhere. They were shaped by the circumstances of his childhood and the instability of his early career. He learned early that identity could be complicated, that other people might decide he did not fit their categories, and that waiting for acceptance could become another form of surrender. Instead, he built his own definition. That determination became especially powerful once he gained control behind the scenes. He was no longer simply an actor hoping to be chosen. He became a producer and franchise architect, capable of influencing the direction of projects. The transformation was enormous, but it came with responsibility. Every success raised expectations for the next one. Every failure became more visible. Still, Diesel continued to operate according to a philosophy formed long before fame. Keep moving. Protect the people you love, and never allow rejection to become a permanent identity. That philosophy helped turn an outsider into one of Hollywood's most recognizable action stars. The hidden scars. At 58, the mythology surrounding Vin Diesel can make his journey look simpler than it really was. Audiences see the muscular silhouette, the deep voice, the cars, the explosions, and the confidence. They see a man who appears engineered for action. What they do not always see are the years beneath that image. They do not see the child who grew up with unanswered questions about his biological father. They do not see the young man counting money, working exhausting nightclub shifts, or walking home with bruised hands. They do not see the actor entering auditions where uncertainty about his identity became another barrier. They do not see the fear involved in risking his limited money on a short film because conventional doors had stopped opening. And they cannot fully see the private grief carried after losing Paul Walker. These experiences became scars, but they also became fuel. Diesel's career demonstrates that resilience is not the absence of damage. It is the ability to continue after damage has changed you. The strongest people are not necessarily those who never fracture. They are the ones who learn how to rebuild without pretending they were never broken. For Diesel, discipline became armor, loyalty became direction, and work became the road forward. The scars remained, but so did the engine. Still moving. Vin Diesel's story, as presented through these chapters of struggle, ambition, love, and loss, is ultimately a story about refusing to stop. The boy who entered a theater expecting punishment discovered a stage. The young man rejected by Hollywood created his own film. The nightclub bouncer became an international action star. The actor whose ambitious project stumbled returned stronger to the franchise that had transformed his career. The friend, devastated by Paul Walker's death, returned to finish a film that became a global farewell. And the man who experienced relationships that could not survive the demands of fame continued searching for a life rooted in family rather than applause. That is the contradiction at the center of Vin Diesel. He built a career around characters who seem impossible to break, yet his real life has been shaped by circumstances that could have stopped him many times. Poverty could have stopped him, rejection could have stopped him, failure could have stopped him, grief could have stopped him, none of them did. At 58, the mythology matters less than the lesson beneath it. Strength is not about being made of steel, it is about carrying the fractures, remembering the people who shaped you, and finding enough discipline to take another step. Diesel's road was never smooth, but he kept driving forward, and that may be the most revealing role he has ever played.